The Lions under the stewardship of Ian McGeechan, Gareth Jenkins and Mike Ford for this game. Kieran Crowley, the former All Black, who took part in the 1993 meeting between these two. He is at the helm of Taranaki. Stunning drive from Rotorua down to the agricultural heartland of New Zealand, where rugby players are grown and nurtured with as much care as is given to the local produce. And the honour for the Lions tonight of captaincy has moved from Wales, Michael Owen against Argentina, to Ireland, of course, Brian O'Driscoll in the first match, and now this man, England's Martin Corrie, leading the side out, completing a quite incredible season for him, having led England in the Six Nations. It could be that his most important work is still to come, though, with the Lawrence Dallaglio injury. The captain, one of 5 men of the Leicester Tigers club in England's East Midlands, Rowntree and Moody in the forwards, Smith and Murphy in the backs. Jordan Murphy part of an all-Irish back three with the Leinster wings, Shane Horgan and Dennis Hickey. Will Greenwood, on his 3rd Lions tour, is the wise old head at centre, with young Ollie Smith and Charlie Hodgson either side. Hodgson partners Chris Cussiter of Scotland, so impressive at the Millennium Stadium just over a fortnight ago.
Yes, not too many Scottish players on this tour, but one man who could make an impression is Cussiter. He's got a lightning service, he's quick on his feet. Biggest compliment I can pay him is he looks a little bit like Dave Loveridge, the former All Black great. In this country, compliments don't come much bigger than that. Watch out for Cussiter tonight.
Taranaki beaten 49-25 by the Lions in that meeting just over a decade ago. Gordon Slater, the only survivor of that match, will be playing against the Lions today, but not initially against Johnny Wilkinson, who is part of the Lions bench. Here comes Paul Tito and Slater. Tito, the captain. The Taranaki 15. Watch out for Chiefs winger Solosi Tangithakimbao, who returns after a stress fracture of the right leg only 4 weeks ago. A speedy recovery to match the speed of the man. Centre Murphy is part of the wider Wellington Hurricanes squad, and in the pack, the aforementioned familiar names, aside from Tito and Slater, though, capped hooker Andrew Hoare and flanker Chris Marsoe, both part of the All Black trial last Friday and winners with the possibles. The replacements for Taranaki, the New Zealand version of the Mitchell brothers. And for the Lions, 2 stars of their own in Wilkinson and, of course, Gavin Henson also in reserve today. Now, just like on Saturday night, we will start with the anthems, all part of adding to the sense of occasion on this tour. And listen out for Dame Malvina Major, one of New Zealand's leading singers.
For the Lions song,
God Defend New Zealand to come.
New Zealand.
But first, the Lions and the power of 4.
To sing the Lions song, please make welcome Anthony Joins.
We 'll 'We'll 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 '
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain upstanding for the national anthem of New Zealand to be sung by Dame Malvina Major.
She's a Taranaki lass, and she can hold a note. Poor Tito, the captain, says that this is the most important day in his rugby life, bar none. Rotorua set the standard now. It's over to Taranaki and their fans. Andrew Hoare, the hooker, and he's against Andy Tittrell today. What a day for Tittrell.
Big day as well for Donica O'Callaghan. Fairly impressive in the difficult performance against Argentina. And no, he's been impressing Clive Woodward. He could be the man that comes from nowhere to challenge for a test spot this series.
Kelvin Deeker is in charge of this match with Paul Honis and Steve Walsh as the touch judges. Taranaki's last major victory over a touring side, 1973, when they beat England 6 points to 3. The Lions versus Taranaki, the home of All Black greats Murray and Loveridge. Great names. We know we've arrived now. The Lions start the match in the shape of their fly half, Charlie Hodgson. And Tito gets clattered early on. Good chasing from O'Callaghan. And it's little Craig Fever, the scrum half who feeds out to Sam Young. And a lot of responsibility on Young's shoulders today. He's been suffering from a hamstring injury, but came through training this week. The Taranaki number 10. Well taken by Scott Ireland. Good name for a player against the Lions. And there's Young once more. Ball stays alive. Dennis Hickey gets the jeers, but he's got the ball. Went backwards. Ireland again. Goes long from Woods. And this is Hodgson. Has plenty of time. Oh, and he's drilled that right towards the corner. What a cool start from Charlie Hodgson. Had very little space to work in. That is a magnificent kick.
Well, there was a massive mediocrity with the kicking to start, and then Charlie Hodgson came out with that diamond, that gem of a kick. Such a confidence player. That will be a big boost for the Sale man. Scott Young, his opposite man, some couple of loose kicks, but on the money straight away from Hodgson.
Ball will throw. And he's accurate. And they don't just use Tito at the line-out, it will go to Bremen, who's not very tall, but they like to throw him in the air. He's quite bulky. Here's Fever again. practicing those the last couple of days. We've been watching him. He's a good box kicker, no doubt about that. Well played though by Horgan, safe catch, and finding Murphy, working as a team in the back three with Hickey. The three Irish internationals. There's an English international in Corrie, the captain, and Cussiter of Scotland waits and tells Titterell to hit it hard, which he does. But the referee sides with Taranaki for the first put-in.
The problem that we saw in Argentina and against Bay of Plenty, rearing its ugly head there. Lions didn't get the numbers there. New Zealanders very competitive at the breakdown, and certainly Kieran Crowley, their coach, will be delighted with that. Woods down at the moment injured, but that's a good turnover there for the provincial team.
Now Taranaki pride themselves on their forward play. Their winger, Chris Woods, is in a spot of bother. He's a stocky finisher, a little bit like Tahana of Bay of Plenty that we saw on Saturday night, similar build.
There's Jordan Murphy on the counter, and you can see Taranaki getting men there quickly, and the ball just doesn't come out as fast as it should.
They get a free kick. They'll be pleased to get that because Songita's called back. They are a man down at the moment with Woods off the field, still receiving treatment. They didn't want to turn over the ball there with one against the head. They didn't. They got a free kick, and it's Fever to Songita, who's determined to take his chance. Was a benchman in the MPC last season, but a starter this year. It's gone forward. Songita, you can see he's a big man, wide shoulders, and he'll take some stopping.
Very important man for Taranaki tonight, Songita. They're not the biggest pack. He's one of their powerful runners, along with Massoe, number 7. Woods back now.
It's the Lions that are almost turned over there, but picked up by Michael Owen. Little show at the ball from the number 8. Corrie is with him. John Hayes driving it on and then protecting the fringe as Tony Penn saw the ball coming back on the Lions side but was denied. Jordan Murphy is tackled. It'll come back to Cussiter though. And Hodgson waits, and he'll have to wait because Horgan has worked it to Owen, who just managed to stop before he touched the line. Well played down that blind side by the British and Irish Lions. Hodgson goes into the middle and it's too cluttered. And it goes forward. There's Will Greenwood.
A little bit rusty in the middle there, but that was well worked on the short side. Cussiter with a lovely little break. And Greenwood's pass just slightly forward there to Ollie Smith. A little bit unfamiliar with each other, and Smith a fraction early there. Good start from Michael Owen. Couple of nice breaks down the short side.
Early drive from Taranaki. Young is waiting. And he's dropped a long way back from his scrum half. Songita picks up and he gets away. The Lions knew this was coming. They've done their research on the Taranaki number 8. Fever. It's gone over the top of Horgan. And he plays it, he puts a foot on the line that time. The flag is up and it's right to be up. Steve Walsh, the touch judge.
Well, that was a little bit nervy, wasn't it, from Shane Horgan? Because by the time that ball had gone over his head, he had to let that one roll out. Once he tried to play it, he was going into touch anyway before he put his foot into touch. Good kick from Young. Nervous stuff there from the Lions' right wing. Now, this line-out area is so important. The Lions, 5 regular jumpers against a Taranaki team with 2 men really you would call out-and-out specialists. They must be attempting to put pressure on this area.
Ball throws, looking for Tito that time. It's dragged in by John Willis. Fever once more. There's Massoe, impressive in the Super 12. And also the All Black trial last week. Fever snapping away, he's a whippersnapper of a scrum half. Then it was Bremen. He's the man with the shiner. John Hayes tackles Hoare, but it's fed off to Fever. Now it's along the line And Stewart gets a touch to find Murphy, the centre. Now he's a dangerous run. He's a very confident player, Murphy. He'll look to take them on. Picked up by Marsoe. And the Lions need to get back in numbers here. As for the first time in the match, Taranaki into the opposition 22. Have a chance to move now with Mark Stewart. He's laid it back to Fever. That's a good service. Out to Murphy again. Lovely step from the centre. Down goes Slater. Denny Thackenbow is there as well, the winger. And that's where the Lions will want him, on the floor. Here's Penn. Titterell coming charging up to make that tackle. Willis. Stewart stands very tall. He's a big man in the centre, is Mark Stewart. Slater. Good tackling from Horgan, though, upending the prop, but it's back with Hoare, and the home crowd getting right behind this. Fever to Young. Oh, he's gone through a little gap now. The Lions being stretched. Murphy makes the latest tackle, one of many in this movement. Can they find the finish? Stewart again. In goes Greenwood. Corrie helps him out. Moody's there as well. They've turned it over. And it's back with Cussiter. And then Ollie Smith looks for Dennis Hickey. And there's some space as well. Hickey hacks on. And now it's the Lions supporters out of their seats. Cross comes Woods. Hickey's after him, and Woods gets away. Tremendous rugby from both sides. Still Woods now. Inside it goes to Ireland. Horgan's on the wrong wing, but he needed to be. Oh, what a movement.
Wonderful fluidity there. Lions were missing individual tackles, but they kept their shape and turned the ball over. And then Ollie Smith's little chip was outstanding. Great awareness. And what an effort from Woods. Back on the pitch after his early shoulder injury. Did brilliantly. Here's the turnover for the Lions. Well played, Martin Corrie. But then Ollie Smith, such composure in a young man. Cussiter goes short. He takes not booted away. Little chip. Great play.
Titterell to Corrie. Roundtree got it back. Just pushed it into the grateful hands of Grucock. And there's Owen. Cussiter. Hodgson. Horgan is on this side. Now, can he get up there? Yes, he can. He's got a man inside. He's going to use him. It's Murphy. Beautifully worked score from the British and Irish Lions. And it's another wonderfully bright start. But they're coming back. It's not been allowed. It's adjudged to have gone forward.
Well, it's a wonderful kick from Charlie Hodgson, his trademark speciality. Horgan does well on the 22. Is that forward? I think it is. He's outside the 22. Murphy takes it, just going into it. I think that Kelvin Deaker's got that one right. Brilliant kick from Charlie Hodgson, and that was so close to being a superbly worked score. Taranaki got tight in field. Hodgson saw it. The execution was superb.
Well, almost superb as the ball just drifted forward. Steve Walsh unmoved.
Right, we'll have a new mark here.
And Kelvin Deaker brings them back in field to create a new mark. You can see once again the evening dew glistening on the turf. There have been one or two showers today. The last couple of days have been almost unbroken sunshine and warm as well. If that's winter, we'll take it.
That's wonderful weather for rugby. Trained accordingly. They've been sharp, Taranaki. They've had a pretty sharp start as well. Songita, now this man will carry. He's crucial.
And no delay from Songita. He'll want to catch sides out. And their guard might be a little bit down at those tap penalties or free kicks. Murphy, who thought he'd scored. Horgan. Oh, and that was Marsoe who chased through to make that tackle. How many times have we seen that in our Super 12 coverage this season? Hodgson going for that corner again. Making Taranaki play the ball in the shape of their fullback. Scott Ireland will be their kicker this evening. And Hodgson certainly kicking well.
Yes, he is tactically excellent. Now, just look how tight you can see the left wing. Woods gets in, bottom of your screen, Horgan in a lot of space, and then this ball into this area, and you can see now suddenly Hodgson sees it. The wing is 20 metres out of position. That's right on the money, and I guess all you can say there is perhaps Murphy was slightly early, but it's such a tight call. Lovely start from Charlie Hodgson, and that's 3 superb kicks we've seen in the first 10 minutes.
And also in that replay, we could see to a man the Taranaki players turn straight to the touch judge. They felt that it might well have been forward, and that's exactly what the officials decided to give. Encouraging start, though, from Charlie Hodgson, who's been written off by the New Zealand media. Everything said about this man in the papers has been negative. He's had to live with that before, though, of course.
Yeah, when we arrived on Sunday, what was it saying in the local paper? England journeyman Hodgson. Well, that is not the kick of a journeyman. That is a beautiful touch. Horgan does well, and I guess if you're going to be critical when it's forward, you really should have scored that try.
Cussiter. Oh, both centres missing it, and it falls nicely for Murphy, and that is superb hands from the midfield of Taranaki. Murphy's got it again, showing his New Zealand Sevens touch there. We've seen him many times before. Tanguy Thakabell then took it into contact. Here goes Marsoe again, such a genial fellow off the pitch, but determined and gritted teeth on it, and the referee gives the penalty.
There's a lovely balance if you're a Taranaki fan. Murphy's hands are really good. We watched him training and everything was coming off him. He's a danger. And then Marsoe, after Murphy gets them across the game line, he just bullocks like their mascot, Ferdinand the Bull, and a hard man to stop. No points, but a good first 12 minutes of rugby.
Stewart, as I'm sure you just gathered from that, is a big lover of Ferdinand the Bull.
Ah, well, wouldn't you?
And you did hear me correct, big lover, not big brother.
Yeah, slice of that on my plate. Come to me, Ferdinand.
Oh, dear. Here goes Corrie. Cussiter to Hodgson. Ireland chasing his own kick. Might get to it! Oh, super catch! What a collision with Murphy it was, the two fullbacks. Murphy's back on his feet, but then holding on after all that work and taken quickly a la Songita by Michael Owen. Cussiter to Hodgson to Tittrell. And there's a cruncher coming in from Tito, and Drewcock also involved in that. And there's a scuffle off the ball involving those two, and the referee will take a close look at this. O'Callaghan, Drewcock's second row partner, has come in to try and split it up.
Well, Paul Tito, what a hurricane. Talisman in this team, and he's also very committed. Over the edge there, involved with Danny Drewcock, no surprises there. Some hard men.
Just open it up. Time is off.
It's Paul Honis who's being dragged into this debate. Let's see.
Great view of what started it. All I saw
was
4 reds on top of 4 gold, exchanging punches.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously 4 red was in a prime position, being on top of him and was laying into him. But I honestly don't know what started it. But they exchanged at least 3 or 4 punches each. The 2 forwards. Yeah.
Well, Drewcock is not wearing number 4. He's wearing number 5. Donica O'Callaghan's wearing 4.
It's either a stern warning or it's a yellow card.
Well, there you can see
Well, as I said, they've exchanged
Tito on the floor.
One-on-one.
And that is Danny Drewcock, familiar territory, going it with Tito. Case of mistaken identity, and a big right there from Tito. O'Connor comes in. O'Callaghan comes in and tries to back the peacemaker.
Yeah, he's the peacemaker, and he could be in trouble. Well, Drewcock's come forward to give himself up.
You're the captain here and you're the captain here. This is the last we've got to see from this tonight. I did not know what started it. We saw both going on with it. You cannot continue in that way, okay? You two guys haven't got many options left, okay? Let's just do it properly. Mate, I do not want to see any more, okay? We're going to do the scrum here, and it's going to be who was in position, Red was going forward.
Well, here's Scott Ireland taking that ball from Jordan Murphy. Two very thin full backs, but full of huge commitment now. Plenty of commitment, some of it legal, some of it not. Tempo rises.
So stern warning given to both players there by the referee, and they may have been helped by the fact that the touch judge didn't know who was involved. Maybe a word from Kelvin Deaker to Paul Honis at some point as well. Here's John Hayes standing up in that scrum. Now, Hayes didn't have the best of nights against Argentina in Cardiff. He's got another chance to impress in match 2 in New Zealand.
Well, you know, he's against Tony Penn, and Tony Penn has played regularly for the Hurricanes in Super 12, but I think it's fair to say when the Canes have come up against one of the strongest scrummaging packs in that tournament, he has struggled. So, you know, Hayes cannot come off second here.
Free kick, as Penn's been part of that Hurricane squad now for 4 years, gathering experience all the time. But it's the Lions with the decision, and it's Hodgson just inside his own half. No kick at the post available anyway. It's a free kick, and it's the Gary Owen, and it's Moody chasing with no respect for his body again.
I tell you, Charlie Hodgson's kicking is of the highest order at the moment. Great chase from Moody. He can't control that ball, but wow, Hodgson's kick was superb.
And there is an injury to the man who he collided with, fullback Ireland. There he goes.
Oh, it's a falcon off the head there, but wasn't that a wonderful kick from Hodgson? A free kick. The Lions couldn't go to touch because they wouldn't have the throw-in. That was an aggressive kick, and Ian McGeechan and Gareth Jenkins would have really appreciated the quality of that one.
McGeechan in his 4th tour as coach. Didn't play against Taranaki when he was on the tour as a player in 1977. Wasn't involved in that match. Graham Roundtree will be relieved to have got that free kick along with Hayes and Titter in the front row, which enabled Hodgson to do just this and Moody to do that, and we've seen it time and time again when he goes up in the air for restarts or the up and unders, and poor old Ireland got more than he bargained for there.
Well, you don't know Lewis Moody is going to hurt himself when he goes for those balls, or the guy who's underneath it. That time it was Scott Ireland. Fearless chaser Lewis Moody. But that was one hell of a carrot dangled there by Charlie Hodgson.
What are they doing here? When he goes to sideline, we'll start. Oh, he's gone. Sorry, guys.
Ireland, remember, is Taranaki's first choice kicker. And that a job unusual to him. Certainly an NPC last season. And he was missing a few in training, wasn't he?
Well, he didn't have great range from 40 metres plus. He struggled. Brendan Watson, and I guess Sam Young will have to take over the kicking, but he looked reluctant yesterday, didn't he, because of that slight hamstring strain.
So reluctant, he wasn't practicing. It was Murphy was helping out with the kicking. Picked up by Songita, and he was well hustled there by scrum half Cussiter. On Cussiter's got back up to feed it off to Hodgson, to Ollie Smith. The Lions denied that opening score. Quite rightly, that forward pass stopping them on that occasion. Can they make amends now? Roundtree goes down after Hayes dropped it. But he went backwards. And Cussiter again. Out to Hodgson. Greenwood. Will Greenwood is stopped. But he stayed on his feet. And therefore was driven forward, but no, says the referee. The referee is deemed hadn't formed and the Lions hadn't got the ball on the floor.
Well, once again, they're just not getting the numbers of the big men there to secure the drive and the ball. And you can see 2 turnovers each against Taranaki and the Lions. That's such an important position in the shadow of the post.
A maul going to ground, the reason for the concession of possession.
I'd just like to see the Lions at times offloading the ball a fraction early. Greenwood went straight in then to Songita, and he is not going to get that ball away quickly. You know, it's really important to keep that ball alive, and sometimes they're too keen to take the tackle, and then they lose control of the situation.
Fever. And then Young. Jordan Murphy. Off to Horgan. Again, the second row's there as a unit to attack that ruck. Murphy's rolling around a little bit, having taken a knock, but Hodgson is flying down that wing, and Fever's trying to get to him. Hodgson just couldn't give it inside to Will Greenwood. Cussiter to Roundtree. Just a suspicion that Jordan Murphy might have taken a late one. We'll look at that again in a minute, but let's just concentrate on the Lions' attack here as they go in search of their first points of the evening. Cussiter made such a good start again, has the scrum half. Ollie Smith has maintained that ball for his side. Cussiter to the blind side. Owen stopped by Andrew Hoare with big, strong forearms. The farmer. O'Callaghan, brilliant the way he retrieved that. And the penalty.
Too many times in the tackle. On the side, Gold. On the side.
Dika very strict there with the tackle situation in at the side, getting a lot of penalties there. Paul Tito's going to be talked to here.
Number 2, and then you hanging around there. Just clean it out, please. You make the tackle, let's get out.
Tito, who played for the New Zealand Maori against Fiji and Suva last week.
Here's the hands of Donegal O'Callaghan there, blocking that ball out when the move was losing pace. Just a few times as well, the forwards aren't really coming onto it with enough dynamism. Corrie and perhaps Owen apart in the first 20 minutes, just getting a little bit static.
Well, Tito was cleared away, but made no attempt, did he, to stay on his feet there or get back to his feet. Hodgson just couldn't find Greenwood here, could he?
No, it's a really good pass from Michael Owen again, who's enjoyed himself, played far better in 20 minutes than he did against Argentina. Relaxed into the situation now, and the man inspirational for Wales is playing pretty well tonight again.
So what about that possible late challenge on Murphy?
And he's given one by Bremen there. They call him Bam Bam in these parts, which our producer tells me is a baby in the Flintstones. I don't know myself, but you can see why he gets the nickname.
You want to watch it more.
Is it good?
I'm sure you'll find another character to resemble you, that's all, along with Ferdinand the Bull. Here goes Hodgson. And there goes the first kick through the posts. Charlie Hodgson with Johnny Wilkinson on the bench tonight, so Hodgson knows all about pressure during this long and eventful season for him. And what an accomplished start the fly half has made. And Wilkinson, his teammate, will be proud of him.
Cool, clinical, composed stuff from Hodgson. The goal kicking so often is Achilles' heel. That time he struck it absolutely beautiful. He looks like he's on his game today.
Talking of confidence, Cussiter is exuding it, and now he's querying why the referee has given Taranaki the put-in.
Lions really are struggling at that breakdown situation. I think that's the third time they've gone into a maul and lost the ball, and he's saying
use it or lose it.
Yeah. And again, it's the point, Miles, about offloading a fraction earlier, or they go to ground and they ruck, but at the moment they're between the devil and the deep blue.
Once more, the scrum is hardly steady, as it has to be. Also, the referee won't want the scrum half to hang around. Fever was looking for the whistle to go there. And Kelvin Dika seeing what's happening between Roundtree and Slater. Here is Fever, and there's Cussiter again. He's got all across him. And now there's no scrum half for Taranaki. But it is with their fly half young, and then Murphy. Now we see the step that has been in evidence constantly through this first quarter of the match. Good hands from Michael Owen. Dennis Hickey scooting over to this side to find Horgan. That was adventurous. And Horgan finds Hickey, who's come all across to keep the move going. And that's inside from Murphy to Corrie. There's wonderful hands. Moody's got it to Cussiter, to Hickey again. Dennis Hickey, what a part of this move has been. Picked up by Titterell. Will Greenwood shoves him forward that extra couple of metres. Oh, there's a leg on the wrong side there for Taranaki. And it was coming back to the Lions. He was lucky. Tito put in Taranaki.
There's a dazzling counter-attack from the Lions. Started by Michael Owen with a beautiful little pop pass, and then Hickey had the audacity to run the ball across the face of his 22, and Taranaki under real pressure there. That was superb. Now, should Titterell have given that ball? He doesn't, and then he commits himself to the two men, and the ball goes forward there. You can see just sliding forward off Titterell. He'll be disappointed with the lack of ball retention there.
Michael Owen has been a player that has been impressing as well. Maybe come back to him in a second. There's Kieran Crowley, the coach for Taranaki. But here we see his hands, which started all of this, and then Hickey, a major part after that.
Yeah, and lovely support work from Hickey. Gets outside Horgan, works very hard. And this interpassing is absolutely gorgeous. Look at Murphy, it's out and in immediately. Corrie's hands good. Moody there, that was a lovely attack from the Lions there. Great awareness of space from deep.
Songita is held now. Penalty Taranaki. Lewis Moody has put hands in there to create that ball coming back. There's Stewart. Fever. Horgan. He's a big man, isn't he, Horgan? 6'4", 16 stone. He's hard to stop and he's hard to get past, as Gordon Slater will now agree with.
Yeah, I think he's a good player, Horgan. You know, he does a job. He can play centre or wing. There's Gordon Slater, played in '93, weathering better than some of those who played against him, I'd say.
He's just 19 then.
Is he?
Dairy farmer. Gordon Slater still heavily involved with that family farm around his rugby duties, as has always been the case with Gordon and his brother Andrew.
You saw the pass by Andrew Hoare as well to Slater. Controversially left out of the All Black squad of 26. The man between Slater and Penn really is a fine player. Cussiter now back after a dead leg, but there's still quite a battle going on in the front row, isn't it?
Titterell, who made his England debut against New Zealand in 2004 on the tour last summer. He's not straight there, though, the Sale Sharks man. Because he did finish the season playing on the open side flank. Not just wearing the number 2 jersey, he's quick around the field. But, of course, the throwing in when he does wear that number 2 jersey, the most important aspect of his game.
Yeah, and that one's straight down the line of Donacro Callahan.
Songita. And little Chris Cussiter will have none of Songita getting away from him. Grucock's got in again, and now Corrie felt a need to have a bit of a swing to sort it out as captain.
Must be bound on or start the hindmost.
There is Grucock, last up.
He must be bind on the ruck.
You know, that's a really disappointing penalty to concede, because Murray Deaker did say to Danny Grucock, no, 5. He had the warning, and then Grucock just went through, couldn't resist the temptation. Moody a couple of minutes ago. Kelvin Deaker now pulls up Danny Grucock. Soft penalties conceded by the Lions. Murray Deaker is a radio, was a TV jock, isn't he?
indeed, one of New Zealand's most famous sports presenters. Kelvin Dika, one of New Zealand's most famous referees. He's in charge, and at the moment, so is Mark Stewart, the Taranaki centre. It's a good run from him. He was a ball boy back in 1993, Stewart. Now he's carrying the ball into the heart of the Lions' defence. But watching on this occasion, Sam Young try to do exactly the same. Fever to Murphy. He has got Stewart outside. And the ball boy was going for glory there. Fever, that's through the legs to Marsoe. That was neat. And this is how the game started, with Taranaki throwing everything at the Lions. But the Lions, so far, have been able to stand firm with their defence, and they get another penalty. They, to the ironic cheers from their supporters, get a decision from Mr. Dika.
That's pretty good work from that Munster man there, Donegal O'Callaghan. He was really quick in. Taranaki set the three-man ball to just spin it away and draw the defenders, and O'Callaghan was in quickly, pulled it down with a tackle and forced Taranaki to hold the ball. There he goes in to ground very quickly, forced to hold the ball. Dika says penalty Lions.
O'Callaghan so often not the starter for Ireland in his international career, but there's a building campaign, a whispering campaign, you like, around this man and his chances to possibly join O'Connell, his fellow Munsterman, in the Test match second row. Long time to go before then, but O'Callaghan doing himself no harm at all, but not helping the Lions' cause. This inability at the moment to throw in straight, and Andy Titterell will be unhappy with what has happened over the last 5 minutes.
I'm surprised Kelvin Dika took so long, because look at that. I mean, Michael Owen with a right hand is palming that back without pressure. He waited for his touch judge to tell him, and there was no need. That was clearly not straight, and Titterell will be disappointed. Just some of the basics unravelled at the moment. The discipline, giving penalties away, a couple of bad line-outs.
There's plenty of good rugby on show, but it's also a scrap, isn't it? And here's Fever again to Young. Murphy's chip, and picked up by replacement Brendan Watt. Fever, now is that forward, Marsoe. Fever again, and it's Young, and it's gone forward. In fact, the pass was forward. Raised the question about the one earlier in the move. Didn't matter in the end.
Was it forward? I don't know. I tell you what, though, Marsoe was very direct. Lions are missing a couple of gain line tackles, and Taranaki are threatening at the moment, and if that man, Taddy Thackenbow, gets an opportunity, there will be problems. There's the ball coming out. Fever running the show there, and you just think for a second something on. Young, should he go inside to Stewart? He decides to do the inside dummy, and then really Greenwood and Hickey find it easy. There were just too many black and amber shirts there.
Tanguy Thackenbow broke his leg just 4 weeks ago. It was a hairline fracture. It is quite unbelievable that he's back running again so soon. He's in a rugby explosion waiting to happen, this man. 6 tries in 9 NPC games in 2004, and a star of the Super 12 with the Chiefs. Broke his leg in the match against the Stormers. This now his 10th match for Taranaki. Out of the famous Wesley College in New Zealand, Lomley's old school, and also the school of number 8, Songita, who's part of the Taranaki back row, putting all kinds of pressure on the Lions there. And they'll put in, and the home crowd's starting to believe that something quite special could be about to happen tonight. Just 3 points between the teams. They haven't scored yet, but they are right in this match, Taranaki.
The Lions scrum really is not going that well at the moment, and there's another basic that goes amiss. Great situation for the home team. 22,000 here cheering them on. If they are going to beat the Lions, this is the sort of situation from which they must score. Murphy's a threat with his hands. Taddy Thackenbow is standing at full-back, and Marsoe, such a strong runner.
The smouldering steam that we had in Rotorua for other geothermal reasons. But the earth is about to move here with these two sets of forwards just short of the Lions line in what is the most important scrum of the match so far as we approach the half-hour point. Songita, that solid shield. It's Young, oh, he's going through! Good tackling again from Cussiter. Saved his team there. Moody arrived, needs to get back on his feet. Slowed right down. Time for both sides to think about what is possible here. Fever wants to release it, and they're going to the far side with Young, the fly half, who's everywhere. No sign of a hamstring tonight. Fever. It's Stewart trying to find Willis.
Organised defence from the Lions here, but pressure is building.
They've managed to hold out so far, but for how long can they keep it going? Songita into O'Callaghan, and Songita pumping those big wide legs. Hands on it from the Lions, but it'll be ripped out of their grasp. Fever again to Young, to what? To Young. The referee says no crossing. Certainly the question was asked by the Lions. Slater. Whose ball is this?
Siege lifted, Lions have nicked it.
Watts having a go with his boot. It is another turnover. It's more terrific defence from the Lions, but that is a shocker.
Oh dear, Cussiter, he's had a good 30 minutes, but he'll be disappointed with that pass off the left hand. And unless Charlie Hodgson is the height of Martin Bayfield, that is a shocker. And all it's done is built up the pressure again. That should have been relief. And now this really is a great situation, because Taranaki will feel they've blown a chance. It's been given back to them.
Yeah, strike that most important stir of the match comment. This now becomes it. And look at the space they've got to work on both sides. A lovely big blind side on the near side.
Tony Fackenbauer right out on the right wing on his own. Jordan Murphy about 25 metres infield.
It's Woods on this side. Songita, Cussiter's trying to make amends, but it's the other number 9, Fever, going for the line. Lions are getting it back on it. No, they're coming through the middle. The referee will want to take a closer look, but the man with the perfect view, as far as he's concerned, is Chris Marsoe. Taranaki, bull by name and bull by nature there, as Marsoe just blasted his way through.
Well, he's threatened all game, hasn't he, from a metre, so strong. We await the video ref. Well, he's over the line there. The only question is, does he lose the ball before then? Certainly over the line there. On that evidence, no doubt at all. Hodgson thinking there's a knock-on earlier, but from that instance, that has to be a try.
We'll do that now. Time back on.
Paddy O'Brien, once again, like he was in Rotorua, is a television match official. That's the only replay that he was going to get, the act of scoring, and he decides that Marsoe crossed the line, which he did, but was there an infringement before that?
Well, what there was a huge amount of pressure. Marsoe, though the ball has come out the Lions' side, Marsoe's picked it up, bounced over and dived. I think that's a try. The Lions nicked it and didn't even know it would come back, unless it was lost through.
They had won the ball, but the Lions did not deal with it. Marsoe couldn't believe his luck.
Your guess is as good as mine how the ball came through. I think the Lions have smuggled it back, and there's no one at home, and Marsoe's shown great opportunism there to score the try that Taranaki undoubtedly deserved.
It had certainly been on the cards. So all the Lions' early good work in the opposition half has been unravelled there by Taranaki in their second big spell of pressure. And as Stewart says, quite deservedly onto the scoreboard themselves with that try, which made the conversion so simple.
Well, what an irony that man, Chris Cussiter, really played so well. It was his awful pass gave Taranaki the position from which they could finally cross the Lions' line and breach their defence. Just too many basics wrong in the last 10 minutes, and Taranaki have finally struck.
And this will be the perfect time for the Lions to strike back before half-time, to rid themselves of the bad memories of that little period which Taranaki ended with a try. Cussiter to Tittrell, standing in the fly half roll and then burying himself into the tackler. Hodgson again, tackling from Young, who, like Williams for the Bay of Plenty on Saturday, has thrust his name forward with this first half performance. A lot of talk about Williams after that excellent display. Cussiter to Greenwood. Again, it's O'Callaghan.
It's not quick enough still.
Cussiter, that's a nice ball inside to Hodgson. Charlie Hodgson's going. It was Stewart who made the tackle. And a penalty. Oh, Cussiter's taking it quickly, stopped by the neck. And Bremen just can't do that.
Time's off.
I think Bremen will be saved here because the whistle had gone.
Captain, thanks.
Well, the referee was still breaking up players.
I spoke to you before. I didn't talk to this player individually, but now I am. On the side of the tackle, okay, slowing the red play down. That's what the penalty's for.
That's fine.
That's his last.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, 5, please.
That's fine. Can you just watch him doing exactly the same thing?
Yes, 5. Got it. Okay.
Well, that was
Also
the
for you.
initial
Okay.
talking to the
He didn't take it
hall.
from the mark, was very lucky. Let him go the 10. Just go back. Just stay here.
Didn't take it from the mark, has allowed Bremen to get off scot-free.
Well, the ball was dead, wasn't it? And that's the view. And the Lions now, of course, will take the 3 points. No chance of the quick tap. Their fans aren't happy. Lovely inside ball there to Hodgson, who's been a constant threat. That's a super ball from Owen, who's showing his range of footballing skills. A very different sort of number 8 to Delalio, but a classy footballer going forward. Here's the penalty now. Just watch out. Oh, well, no, we're not going to see it. Bremen, crowd wanted to see it.
Hodgson kicks to get the 3 points. So they do get the score, but it wasn't the try, and still that law is being explained to the Lions players. The fact that Cussiter did not take it from the mark. Wasn't too far away, was he? And then Bremen just straight-armed him. He cannot do that and not get something more than just a talking to.
I don't know what he's going to do 2 yards from the line. He's not going to let him cross for the try. I think in his defence, Miles, you would say it was an instinctive defensive thing. It wasn't pretty, but you're going to do that playing for Taranaki against the Lions.
Hodgson.
He's been composed, hasn't he, Hodgson? Apart from the one pass, I think Cussiter's gone well. Hodgson's had a good first half, and Owen in particular. But it's just basic errors are costing the Lions. They're in a game. It's not as pyrotechnic as it was at Rotorua, but it's very compelling rugby.
Sir Clive Woodward chewing away. Chatting with him yesterday and walking the pitch with him, and he was again delighted by the quality of the surface here in New Zealand. Gone are the days of the New Zealand mud baths. I think we're going to have excellent pitches all the way through the tour. It allows a fast game. Some issues here to sort out at the line-out, Stewart, as Taranaki will now put in to the scrum.
Well, the Lions were unlucky there. Martin Corrie was quite clearly pulled down there. I think if we just run forward here and you stop it now, look at that. Martin Corrie pulled down by Bremen. Definitely should have been a penalty.
Songita has given it this time to Cussiter, and it's Hodgson. Does he have the pace to get away? He's tracked by Fever. Horgan kicks it on, then he claims that he was impeded by Songita, and he's unhappy about that, having a word with the touch judge. Once again, it's all happening out there with lots of incident. End result is that Taranaki have got a scrum.
And once again, there's a growing sense of injustice about some of the decisions here. Good sharp work from Cussiter and Hodgson then, and Fever in with a cracking tackle. Kicked on there by Horgan, with a knock-on given. Here you can see Cussiter ever alert yet again. Fever does very well, and that ball is kicked on. I guess the issue is it passed forward from Charlie Hodgson?
Yes, I think that is the issue with that one. But there's no doubt that Corrie was impeded at the line out, and that went unseen.
Oh yeah, undoubtedly that was the case. And you know, I think most of the time when you concede in penalties, you build up this sense of grievance and you convince yourself that the world's against you. The referees are New Zealanders in provincial games, but then you get a decision like that Corrie one that doesn't go your way, and that really forces it to grow. And the Lions have just got to keep their discipline now.
Because ultimately there's only the whistle to play to of one man, and one man who makes those decisions. It is Kelvin Deeker tonight. Then it's picked up by Bremen. Chance to go here. A bit of a slip from Hickey might not help the Lions, but that was wasted possession from Taranaki. They had their flying winger Tanguy Thakumbau just waiting for the ball to come to him. It never did.
And Murphy lost his balance, didn't he? And he kicked it away because he felt the move was coming to an end. Shane Horgan there lost that ball under the lights a little bit. One right wing made an error, and Tanguy Thakumbau hasn't really had a pass yet, but he's such a dangerous man. Now Titterell must start hitting his man. That's better.
To O'Callaghan.
So easy, go to the front when you're struggling.
Cussiter, Hodgson. Greenwood just putting that in behind Woods, the winger. Well, Greenwood in his third Lions tour. So often the man to plot the graph and make space for others, thoughtful player. And to guide the youngsters too, like Ollie Smith alongside tonight, and Hodgson, first gathering experience, but in comparison to Greenwood, not quite as much in the locker.
That was a poor kick from Greenwood, they just gave it away.
Marsoe, Moody did well to react there. And this is Murphy, and he's running onto it well, and that's well taken by Ollie Smith. Ollie Smith is going through here. Tackle comes in from Watt. Now, can the Lions get quick ball this time? His body's all over it from Taranaki. Cussiter got a call from Hickey. Hickey knew he had the support of Hodgson. Roundtree hits the ruck. And there is the ball for Michael Owen, who's had an excellent first half. Jordan Murphy, stopped by Songita and Slater. Lions getting ever closer. Owen again. Out it goes to Horgan. He's going for the chip now. And it's the sliding Watt who gets it down. And he's carried that over. 5-metre scrum. Just about time to play it.
Brendan Watt couldn't do anything there. That's a clever kick. Wonderful pass from Cussiter to Jordan Murphy. And the two Leicester men there, Smith and Murphy, turned that around very well. Good solid tackle there from Watt. Now the hooter blows, but there should be the time for the scrum. And the Lions, what a boost if they score from this. There's Horgan's chip. And Watt, outside his own lines, goes back under, so what a position here. Good kick.
We will have time for the scrum. It was called, and the Lions know the significance of this moment in the context of the match, as will the Taranaki 8, with Andrew Hall right involved there. The spearhead, the hookup, and he links now with Penn and Slater, knowing they've got a rest coming, half-time. Oh, look at that drive. Look at that drive.
I think the scrum slipped there. It's quite dewy there, and that's just as well for the Lions. Andrew Hall, neglected by the All Blacks, really leading his team well. And Roundtree and Hayes have got to be solid here. It's all they need is solidity, and they haven't managed it.
Slipping again, Owen's going to have to play this one. Did well, stayed calm. The number 8, just what his side wanted. Willis is on the wrong side now, but he's cleared out the way. Cussiter to Hodgson to Greenwood, and Smith can't take it. That will be half-time. Stewart.
It's a really interesting game. 7-6 to Taranaki yet again. This is a red-blooded game of rugby in New Zealand. The Lion, cuddly at the start of the game, it's going to need to sharpen up a bit. I think Cussiter and Hodgson, along with Owen, have gone very well. But Taranaki are full of fire and pride, led by Hoare and Tito. They are not given an inch, and I think because of that one period of pressure, they just about deserve the lead. Fascinating game.
We were level at half-time in the first game at Rotorua. The Lions seeing their 17-point lead just dwindle away. This time, the home team have their nose in front with a ring on the end. Taranaki, the Bulls, 7. The British and Irish Lions, 6.
Well, the Lions have been given another sharp reminder of what they're up against. Taranaki causing real problems for the tourists in the set piece and the breakdown as well. We knew they were going to be a big hard side. They're proving it. 7-6. Taranaki. New Zealand warm up for the series with the Lions with a test at the North Harbour Stadium in Albany against Fiji. That's Friday morning from 8 o'clock. It's a busy time for Australia. They face Italy, France and South Africa twice before the Tri-Nations. This Saturday they take on Samoa, and we'll show you that game before the biggest match of the Lions tour to date, the game against New Zealand Maori, which will be a real measure of just how good this Lions squad is. That's a 8:10 kickoff in Hamilton. Plus, still to come on Saturday, South Africa up against Uruguay. Their warm-up for their international summer. Sky Sports 2 from 2. But the Lions are up against it in New Plymouth. Low scoring, but fascinating. One try from Taranaki. They lead as a result 7-6. Scott, what's been the problem?
I think it's the same old story, really.
Yeah.
You know, the set piece hasn't gone particularly well. Numbers of contact. They're being held up in contact. You know, body angles aren't great when they're going into contact. You know, and it's disappointing that we're not seeing every game, you know, improvement. And, you know, unfortunately, this Taranaki side are taking it to them.
Yeah, Dowie?
Exactly what Scott said. It's the old problem. Barnsley said it. We talked about it last week. Putting numbers into contact. You've got to win your ball. You've got to get in, and you've got to put, you know, if it takes 8 forwards to win it, you put 8 forwards in it. And it was quite evident right from the beginning. You know, they passed the ball one out. You can see it in this instance. Martin Corrie takes the ball in. There's no problem, right?
But his body angle is so very
They've
high.
got 1, 2, 3, 4 forwards in that, Fitzy.
Yeah, definitely. Just too high. And they're held up. Marceau's in there. Turnover. And here we go again.
This is the try.
Now, presumably this is something that's being coached and the Lions need to do something about it.
Well, you can just see here that the numbers there, you know, you've got the 2 second rows of balls sitting there. Marceau says, hey, thank you very much. Try.
You've got to protect those situations, whether it's the guard or behind, or in that situation for the try, the ball, they thought actually that Taranaki had the ball's come back out, but where's the reaction? There's no reaction there.
Especially when that close to the line as well. You've got to have a guard behind the ruck, you know, because if somebody wants to pick up and dive over like they did there, you know, it's easy to score, you know, but if you've got somebody in behind there, ball comes back, at least you can control it.
Problems as well, though, at the set piece. Where are those issues stemming from, Sean?
Well, definitely the line-out's an issue. And the scrum. They need a right-hand shoulder at scrum time, and they're not getting that. Hayes is not promoting his side. And straight away, and I just keep on going back, they shouldn't be surprised, because these Taranaki boys, the same as the Bay of Plenty, they're getting into them, and they're getting into them big time. And the line-out here, you just can't afford to do that. Not straight. Ball to Taranaki.
There's been 2 or 3 not straights now, and that, you know, that gives them possession.
And here's the scrum. Here's the example right here. They're under pressure at scrum time, and they're just.
But it's inexcusable, really. You've got a situation where you're out there and you train on these machines, and you know what Taranaki's going to do. And you know, Penn, you've just said that, haven't you? He's not the greatest scrummager on the loose head side, but we're having massive problems. I don't know what's happening out there, but they've got to sort it out. You've got to get your set-piece ball.
What about the main positives? How impressed have you been by Charlie Hodgson?
He's been outstanding, you know, he showed the first couple of minutes, he found himself on the right-hand side, put it down in the corner, rolled in 5 yards from the line. But it's not only that, he's controlled the ball well as well. When he's had the opportunities to run, he's run, this is the one we're talking about, he picks it up there, he looks up, sees, you know, a couple of guys in front of him, thought, right, bang it down, you can't get better than that.
But he's a confidence player, we've talked about it, he needed to start like that, and he's got it, and he's kicking. All right, this is the forward pass, Horgan takes it back inside to Murphy, it's forward, but that's beautiful. I mean, it's absolutely good, confidence player, and at the moment, he's the one player that's could make a difference.
A great point, Dowie. He is a player that can make the difference, and he's the one player that's holding his head and doing the basics well and not getting rattled. And they know it, and we keep on saying it. We know what the Taranaki is going to throw at them, and a lot of players are getting bustled into little chipping away, cheap shots.
And it's exactly what Sean said. It's exactly what Taranaki want to do. This is the lads' situation.
But the Bremans and co, that's what they're there for.
Yeah,
they're there to upset people.
He's been the only back really who's hit the ball flat on the gain line and got over the gain line. You know, the people outside them, they're just not actually getting over that gain line to give them a chance.
Too tight to call at the moment. 7-6 as it stands at the moment to Taranaki, but some real issues for Ian McGeechan and his coaching staff to address. There's more live action following us here on Sky Sports 1 at 10:30. It's live cricket from the County Championship between Middlesex and Surrey. Then in the evening from 7, it's international football as the Faroe Islands take on the Republic of Ireland. At the break, though, in New Plymouth, and the Lions struggling against another quality MPC side. 1 point in it. Should be an enthralling second half. Need a bit of that Lions spirit. Let's get back to Stuart and to Marv.
Thanks, Simon. Lions just taking the field for this second half. Taranaki already out there. And we're hearing that Taranaki have been forced into a change at half-time, and there's confirmation of it because Matthew Harvey, the former Manawatu player, is out there now. And the man who's gone off is Solosi Tangithakimbao, only just back from the broken leg, and I think, no, benefit of hindsight and all that, but starting to think about the situation now, maybe he wasn't quite right in that first half. He didn't seem to be on top of his speed game, though the ball didn't go to him on a few occasions when it might have done. So he's gone, not quite fully fit, and he's been replaced by Harvey.
Yeah, he didn't get into the game like he so often does either. They've lost their speed man, but now with Harvey and Stewart there, they've got quite a lot of ballast behind the scrum.
It's Young who starts this second half for Taranaki, and it's the Naki who lead by a point, going for their most famous win of all time. Simple as that.
A poor restart work from the Lions there.
Fever. And there's Brendan Watt, who replaced Scott Ireland in the first half after his nasty collision with Lewis Moody. Confirming that change with Harvey now on as well. For Tangithakimbao. Willis feeds to Young again. And Harvey's come in and he's got a very useful touch there. And it's Stewart. And the Lions, it goes without saying, but they don't want to concede a try here right at the start of the second half. That would get the crowd going. Fever along the line now from Young. It's Murphy, and there are men out there. Tito, the captain, is one of them. And Taranaki is going mad for this. Andrew Hall. Will they look to switch the point of attack and come this way with Fever now? Yes, they do. Young to Murphy. Dangerous centre. Moody and Greenwood trying to hold him up, but again Murphy makes good ground there. Fever to Slater to Hoare.
That's a bit static there. They'll just have to recycle and go again.
Fever again. And there are plenty of players on that side still. Harvey is one of them. This is Slater. What a popular scorer he would be. John Hayes nearly picking the ball up there. He knocked it on. They'll get a scrum, Taranaki. They want more. Stewart. Now is he blocked? The referee takes the route of the knock-on. As Dennis Hickey covered.
Yeah, good work from Hickey. He's an intelligent footballer. He sees the threats in front of him, and he came all the way across from his left wing just to make sure it was nothing more than a Taranaki scrum. And you can see Slater going in on Lyons hooker, and there number 3 John Hayes tries to pick the ball up, just knocks it in, knocks it on there.
Message being played here to the Lions. They're getting the ball, they'll have a chance to clear.
Slow ball. Lost forward goal.
Calvin Deacon saying the ball had slowed right down, gives the Lions the set piece. And the scrums and the lineouts have got to go well in this second half.
They have. John Hayes has had a hard time, and I imagine Gethin Jenkins will be warming up soon if there isn't improvement at the moment. It's so hard to play in New Zealand if your set piece isn't good enough, and at the moment it's not. And they're handling errors as well, too many from the Lions, but that often comes from the fact that, you know, they're not playing from a good, solid foundation.
That's firm and solid. Now Cussiter, unfortunately for him, came up with that poor pass in the first half, his one mistake. And it did lead to the try ultimately. Hodgson also didn't do much wrong in that first period. And encouraging his forwards there, much better scrum. Hodgson realising that. And a clap and a shout from him.
Yeah, he did a lot right in the first half. Charlie Hodgson, real calm and phlegmatic. For this man, Andrew Hoare, he's having a big game too as they go to Tito.
And Tito won it, and then it was Marceau standing in the scrum half roll, which he often does, and then Songita. Andrew Hoare on the floor. Fever to Young. Once more, Martin Corrie and Lewis Moody between them, and managed to cut that outside arc from Young. Looks threatening when he goes for that line, as does Stewart. And this man certainly does. Those quick feet of Lefemi Murphy. He's loose-limbed and comfortable as he plays his game on his terms. Ditto Marceau. Elegant runners with the ball, those two. The way they manage to shift their body and ask questions of the tackler. Slater, good setup from him. There's Fever. Scrum half's just done enough. But it will need a scrum half. And Woods is that man. Murphy again to Stewart. Tackle from Greenwood.
A lot of phases again.
Hoare flipped it up first. And a knock on. Well, the Lions' defence has been worked out today in the sense that there's been plenty of work to do, but they, more often than not, Taranaki haven't managed to work them out and get past them.
No, they haven't, but there will be better teams than Taranaki to come as we go on. It's not disparaging them. There's the knock-on. What the Lions aren't able to do is stop Taranaki developing multi-phase rugby, and it's very hard against these New Zealand teams. That's symptomatic of the first 40 minutes, the basic problems at scrum. It's Argentina. It's today again.
Now, in these parts, that is greeted with as much joy as a try. They, as we said earlier, pride themselves on their forward power and their tradition up front. And that scrum has said an awful lot. Young to Stewart. One of these moments he'll get through, Stewart. Willis.
Really working in defence.
Hoare. Bouncing off Charlie Hodgson. Fever. Young. Murphy can't take that. Stewart can. In goes Michael Owen, bravely getting the man and then lying on the wrong side, and doing enough to get the turnover. What a Michael Owen. Jordan Murphy. That's gone a long way. It needed to. The Lions needed that relief. And they need to chase well here. They've done that to put the pressure on. And it's really on now. And there's a trip. And it might fall for Hickey. Murphy goes in. Referee playing advantage. The Lions want to take full advantage. Cussiter looking around for the support. It's coming now from Hodgson. It's the captain, Corrie. Corrie for the corner. Doesn't look like it at all.
Time.
And Corrie,
Betty.
I think, knows.
Set a look. Foot and touch, corner flag. Whether he grounded the ball. And whether the ball actually was grounded. Thank you.
Well, that was brilliant play from Cussiter. His awareness that he had to just switch the point of direction. Halfbacks did well. Hodgson's pass was excellent. What a tackle from Hall. Corrie's foot. I think Steve Walsh says it's in touch. Well, it's not there because Hall's is. Question is, does Martin Corrie's foot hit the flag? Because if it hits the flag, that is in touch at the moment.
That is the foot of Hall. Initially.
It's a split second, isn't it? Frame by frame is so hard. It's brilliant work from Hall. See that all you see on that angle, it looks to me like Corrie's actually got his foot away from the flag. Look, at the moment, his sock's not in touch at the moment. In control of the ball, sliding. He's spun around. Now, but does his left foot make a contact as well as Hall at the bottom of the flag?
We're going to do the
pressure there on the television match official. It's the try. Martin Corrie has scored.
Made by Cussiter and Hodgson.
The leg belonged to Hall.
Yes, but the class belonged to the halfbacks. Lovely give and take from Charlie Hodgson. And Corrie goes low, slides. Hall comes in with a valiant attempt. It's his feet make the tackle, make the touchline. That's brilliant here. This is the try. Nothing on one way, I'll go the other. And Hodgson's hands, the offload, excellent. And the slide from Corrie just about gets him in. Tough on Hall, but the Lions captain gets the try.
Hodgson with the conversion. And he misses the additional 2 points, but the Lions will take these, considering the way Taranaki had come out in that first half. I just wondered initially whether Corrie had clipped that flag before Hall got to it. But the official, watching the replays, the experienced Paddy O'Brien, deemed that it was Andrew Hall who touched the flag. Corrie, no great celebration after it. But the captain has done a wonderful job for his side there to score that. Hodgson. And now on the field, Gethin Jenkins has replaced John Hayes in the front row.
It's been another tough night for the Munster man Hayes against Tony Penn, often a Wellington Hurricane. And that man there, Andrew Hall, he's had his part to play in the problems as well for the Lions front row. He has been very strong indeed. Just wonder though, all that pressure from Taranaki at the start of the half, and then the Lions break out, an unforced error and suddenly a try. That's got to hurt the home team.
Brennan rises. Songita. Penalty. Lions thought they were on the verge of a turnover.
Number 4, off your feet. Please. Let's go.
O'Callaghan has been penalised.
And this gives Taranaki a chance to just strike back immediately and just calm their nerves. And we'll be looking for the 3 points, and it is the fly half, Sam Young. who didn't practice his kicking either Monday or Tuesday, but he shouldn't miss this.
There's a wave going around the ground. Capacity crowd, 22,000. First time this stadium, the Yarrow Stadium in New Plymouth, has been full the last 9 years. And Kieran Crowley's team, having conceded that Corrie try after starting the second half so well, Lions hitting them on the break. But this chance to get right back into the match, and they don't. And the kicking with Ireland off the field was always going to be a problem, perhaps even had Ireland started the kicking, because there's hardly been a points machine for Taranaki over recent years, and that was a great chance to register 3 important points missed.
A let off for the Lions, and a good restart from Hodgson, and a very good chase from Martin Corrie. But Taranaki just moved the ball from the tackle very well there. Super stuff.
There's Young. It's down the middle, and Murphy had drifted towards the wing, so quick burst of pace from the fullback to get there. Could only pick out Taranaki for a counter-attack. That's coming out the floodlights as well, and it could be anybody's. Brendan Wattie's tried to scramble it, but Hodgson is there. And Hodgson has connected with that one. And that's a mighty kick from Charlie Hodgson. And not his first of the evening either.
Once again, the central axis of this Lions team is performing when all around them it's very nervous. Cussiter's reflexes were very good. Popped the ball away, and that's a boomer from Charlie Hodgson there, driving Andrew Hall back. They're fighting for that metre. They're fighting for that metre.
It's been tetchy, to say the least, all night between the line-out forwards. Bremen getting up there again. How they could have done with that kick from Young. Would have been 1 point again between the two teams. This time the Lions in front by 1, not Taranaki. It is that tight tonight. Well played, Cussiter. John Murphy! He's got brilliance at his fingertips, that player. And he did well to burst through after more fine work from Cussiter. Joins in again. Now this is where they have to clear those bodies away and win that quick ruck ball. They're getting frustrated, and they're getting a penalty as well.
Oh, yes. Roll clear. Holding.
And the Lions will expect Charlie Hodgson to do what Taranaki did not do, as we get a sin bin for Andrew Hall. This could be a turning point in the game.
It's another raw-boned man of the land, Hall, leaves the field as a victim of the sin bin. The Lions have the next 10 minutes with an extra man, and they've got 3 points on the table to start that 10 minutes.
Yeah, and this one's not really against Andrew Hall. This is against persistent infringing. Some fancy footwork from Graham Roundtree, but the man's on the wrong side now. Hodgson should push the Lions out to a 7-point lead here.
Hodgson then. Perfect. And the Lions supporters very happy with their fly half tonight. 14-7 the score. As we look out here at the Yarrow Stadium, and some great fly halves knocking around. Man alongside me, played here in '93, of course, and there's Grant Fox of New Zealand.
Well, what Taranaki would have done with Foxy there to kick that last penalty, hey? He didn't miss many. Certainly not like the one missed just now by Sam Young.
Morgan deciding that he He wasn't going to risk anything there. Hodgson. He'll take that, and so will his team.
You know, Charlie Hodgson's punting is better than it has been with Sale this season as well. Out of hand, it's good. Wilkinson looks on. He's got to appreciate this performance from Hodgson, and it's outstanding. He, of course, will be waiting for his chance. Will it come against the Maori Saturday? Stephen Jones, the favourite for that one. Probably he'll be waiting for Wednesday against Wellington.
Well, of course, Taranaki need a hooker. And that man is Phil Mitchell, with no Andrew Hoare on the field. But Tony Penn, he's going to throw in. And that is not clean ball. Gethin Jenkins sensing a weakness there as it came back from Bremen. Cussiter, Hodgson, Greenwood. Custer waits. Where's that ball gone again? It was there. Flopping bodies of the Taranaki forwards.
But they've got to be wiped off when they start flopping. It's not coherent enough, it's not cohesive, it's not powerful enough. And now we do have to have Phil Mitchell coming on. And it's Songita, the big, strong number 8, heading off. And he's one of their key carriers. Here, Tony Penn trying to prove that anyone can throw it in, but it's not a great throw. And Gethin Jenkins, he's dynamic, isn't he? And that's where he adds so much to a team.
Could easily have been called not straight as well, that one. Here's Hodgson, and there's Horgan! And Hodgson again. More like it from the Lions. Cussiter. Tittrell. Cussiter drags that ball out this time. Michael Owen. Strong work from Owen. The scrum half feeds to Corrie. Who got his side back into the game with that try. Roundtree and Jenkins, the new prop combination. Hank comes in from Taranaki. Referee doesn't like that. And Cussiter to Hodgson. It's ricocheting around, and Michael Owen might pick it up. Well, he's got the penalty. Because Michael Owen returns home after this match to witness the birth of his second child before coming back to join the tour.
If the Lions win, he'll be enjoying his flight home probably more than he enjoyed the flight out after the Lions-Argentina game. He's had a good game today. Now, another man playing very well, Charlie Hodgson. He's swaggering around with some real authority today and playing with purpose. It's touch and go whether he made the touring party. Now he's really showing his wares. Gordon Slater in there, as Chris Cutter says. What are you going to do, ref? Well, he gives the penalty.
Just as we wait for this kick, perhaps worth reflecting on the fact that the touch judge Steve Walsh would not have given that try to Martin Corrie. He said that he fully expected the decision of no, that the flag had been touched. Player was therefore in touch. And for those who still argue against the use of the video referee, well, that is one to use in the case for the video referee, undoubtedly. Here is Charlie Hodgson with another consummate kick.
Fine performance from Hodgson. And the Lions starting to punish Taranaki now. One man in the sin bin, and they rack up a few more points. 10 clear, and Ian McGeechan and Gareth Jenkins perhaps now starting to sense that the tide is turning the way of the men in red shirts.
And Hodgson launches another one. And somehow it's not dropped. Great recovery by Woods. Young's kick. Measured. Horrible one for fullback Jordan Murphy. I suppose in the end it could have been worse.
Yes.
Didn't have to play it, but agonising moments for the fullback. as it came towards him.
Young would have liked that to just spin 6 inches the other way and force Murphy to hurriedly take the ball out. Brucock did well to snatch that one under pressure.
Cussiter being dragged back in, and that's a penalty. Bremen is number 5, who spent the evening offside. Bam Bam, thank you.
You can just see the penalty count rising now, and where the Lions seemed the frustrated team for much of the first half, it's now the home team who are just maybe showing signs of fraying as Charlie Hodgson goes the conservative route there. Andrew Hort looking on, just perhaps feel this one's starting to drift.
Well, this is the time for the Lions, isn't it? With Taranaki having the player in the sin bin, a lead established now of 10 points. Another score here. And the confidence that Taranaki were building and building as this game went on would surely start to drain away. But I said it before on Saturday, you never rule out a New Zealand team. MPC test match side, Silver 12 side, they're all fighters down here. There's Hickey into Cussiter. It was excellent work by the pack initially, and then it was Michael Owen again supporting well. Roundtree was there as well. Cussiter out to Hodgson. Little show to Corrie, but decided against the pass. Marsoe was in his way.
Great play, 8, 9, 10, Owen, Cussiter, Hodgson.
And Taranaki get themselves going forward, and they're still in this match. If they were to score next, then it would look very different indeed.
Yeah, you just wonder, though, that 5 minutes of sustained pressure at the start of the half. The Lions held their defence together, and that might just have been what they needed. But again, Hodgson goes inside. Gethin Jenkins is there. A couple of forwards off their feet, but, you know, that's a mess. There's no cohesive hitting of the ruck, and they're enabling Taranaki shirts to counter-ruck and steal that ball. It's a shambles. That man's played well, hasn't he, Marsoe? Strong Super 12, all-black trialist.
Not far away from coming back on now. Another change is about to be made by Taranaki 2, with number 19 down in front of us. Richard Bryant stripped off. This would be his 20th game for Taranaki. He'd earn himself a blazer if he came on, wearing the blazer there for the Lions. Gareth Jenkins alongside Ian McGeechan. Clive Woodward watching from the stand as well. Of course, he's the man with overall control, but the 2 different coaching teams for midweek and also weekend. Marsoe with Cussiter, who's never been far away tonight with those tigerish tackles. Greenwood! Charged down! Just needs to get on it! And can't. So close. Murphy was there, Young went back as well. Let's see what happens.
Bit slow with the clearance, Greenwood fast, but the ball just spins over the line there.
Murphy keeps his side in the match.
Just. But there are signs, I think, of Taranaki tiring. The Lions now need to go through the gears.
Young making sure there was no charge down there from the 22 dropout. It was Horgan who took the ball in. Hodgson. That'll do. It keeps Taranaki penned back.
Will more than do, because Taranaki are tiring now. They're being driven backwards. That's a classy little kick there. Really good performance from the halfbacks tonight, Cussiter and Hodgson.
Both sets of fans trying to outshout each other, and a distinct cry of Lions now going around the stadium, which will lift the players even more. Here's Phil Mitchell. Owen tried to get in to spoil that one, and then it was O'Callaghan spoiling on the floor. And Fever will have pressure on him now to find the kicker. They just had a charge down on Young, and they were looking for another. 4 players went forward there, sensing that the fly half would have been nervous about that kick, and yeah, he does blow the cheeks and has every reason to. Here's the unmistakable figure of Richard Bryant into the Taranaki back row, and also Jason Eaton has come on. There he is, big tall second row. Hoare is out of the sin bin, so lots of changes for Taranaki, but the key change for them is they're back up to their full complement. Songita has stayed off.
Yeah, that 4-man pressure from the Lions did its job, didn't it? Because Young didn't get charged down, but he only made about 15 metres. So the Lions now are camping themselves deep in Taranaki 22.
Tittrell throws. That's accurate. Went for the tail as well. Much better from the hooker now. As the game goes on, the more and more promising signs we see from the Lions. But Taranaki showing their raw strength again. Marsoe wrestling away. It's Corrie. And Cussiter. And Hodgson. Smith was the decoy, he's a good decoy runner, and it's Will Greenwood. Hickey trying to carry him over. They've got this one back quickly. Cussiter, well picked up by Murphy, and it's Horgan, Shane Horgan for Ireland and the Lions.
Well, you could see it coming, couldn't you? The Lions picked up the pace of the game. Greenwood surged towards the line, and for once the Lions support runners got behind him, pushed him to within inches of the line. This is the key. Look at the support there. Hickey and Smith driving in, and it's quick ball. Cussiter's hands are good. Jordan Murphy, he's got gold dust in that hand of his, and Horgan over for the try. Scott, Ireland. Lovely stuff from Jordan Murphy. That is a beautiful pass, and no one stopping Horgan there as the Lions start to just pull away.
Charlie Hodgson has another conversion attempt. Sails over from the assured boot of Charlie Hodgson. What a beautifully worked score in the end it was, courtesy of that piece of brilliance from Jordan Murphy, and Horgan knew exactly where the flag and the line were on that occasion, and Horgan in his Lions jersey will feel great after that.
There's few people work a metre of space quite as well as Jordan Murphy. A lovely example of his gifts as an attacking player there.
Shane Byrne has replaced Andy Tittrell in the Lions front row as hooker. Following in the footsteps of one of the greatest ever Lions, Keith Wood, both with the Irish national side and now in the Lions jersey too. Paul Tito and Shane Byrne, obviously with some orders to bring off the bench, handing them out now. But Tito looks like being a losing captain on this historic day for Taranaki. James King is also on for the home side. Fever is the man to go off at scrum half.
You do feel now, don't you, that this international team from 4 countries are using their superior fitness and physique now to just impose themselves on Taranaki, starting to win their lineouts too.
Hodgson, game missing out Smith. Horgan shipped this one on to Murphy. Return the compliment. Moody to Smith, and that was never going to be Hickey's.
Screamed in irritation there, Ollie Smith. Just try to force that one away to Dennis Hickey. Some nice lines from Jordan Murphy as well, you know, today. I thought he was one of the Lions' best players in Cardiff against Argentina. He's looked good again today. He's got Josh Lucy in the way at fullback, but perhaps Lucy on the wing or Murphy onto the wing himself. Good options for the Lions in the back three.
As if they both play in the same side. They are interchangeable, various points of the game. The drop as Corrie went in to make the tackle, and then a big hit on Ollie Smith from Stewart, who has threatened that all night with the weight of his tackling. Large presence in that Taranaki midfield, and Smith certainly felt that one. Coming on now for Taranaki, it's Phil Mitchell's brother Hamish, younger brother by 5 years, the prop forward.
That is just about what you call the perfect man and ball. Perfect unless you happen to be Ollie Smith. Ow.
Mentioned that Mark Stewart was a ball boy in '93. So was Hamish Smith, who's now off the Hamish Mitchell, sorry, who's now off the bench. Meanwhile, Ollie Smith is okay. He's back in that Lions back line, having been shuttered. Penn is the man to go off for the Mitchell brother. Still only 22, Ollie Smith. Let's not forget.
Notice now as well the scrum swinging heavily towards the line, as it did in the Bay of Plenty in the end. But again, you just have to work out, is this a matter of technique and superior scrummaging individuals, or is this about fitness and stamina? I don't think whatever happens in the last 10 minutes, the Lions will come out of this game and say we've resolved all our issues. And maybe that's as it should be at the moment.
Cussiter to Hodgson. He's made the break. He's found Horgan again. Marsoe gets all over Horgan, and that takes some doing. Cussiter, Hodgson, Grucock. It's a bit tight over there. Cussiter checks what's on. If he goes to his left, which he does, but he doesn't release the ball. Didn't matter because of the dangerous tackle earlier, so it's a penalty.
Michael Owen has his hands on the ball. And Charlie Hodgson, he's going for the corner. So hesitant, Owen, in Cardiff, perhaps overawed, leading the Lions on his national ground against Argentina. He's played well today, but Hodgson's inside ball there after the break's a cracker. And Marsoe, he sends the big one through on Shane Horgan. But Horgan's a big lad, he can look after himself. Super play again, though, from Hodgson.
Byrne throws to Owen. Great Welsh number 8, Mervyn Davies, scored against Taranaki in 1971. Michael Owen wearing 8 for the Lions today, part of this forward move, and he has a view there of the Lions almost crossing the line. Cussiter to Hodgson. Hodgson trying to wriggle his way through. Back it comes, Cussiter again. Now Owen goes for width. He's picked out the man. That man is Murphy, and job is now done.
Well, two of the Lions' most creative players combined to finish off Taranaki there. Michael Owen again showing the full range of his talents. He's been hugely impressive tonight, and Jordan Murphy, he doesn't hit that line early. He waits to see where the space is, and then he strikes. Hodgson has the first dart. Donica O'Callaghan this time making sure there's a clear out.
Lewis Moody who nearly got there, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then you got Hodgson going for it next phase. But Michael Owen here, that's a gorgeous pass. And you see Murphy, he hasn't hurried, he hasn't got flat. Classy players know that they've got all the time when they get the ball, and he's deserved that try.
And Murphy and Horgan, two second half try scorers, share a moment together of congratulation, and Charlie Hodgson cannot put a foot wrong.
And Charlie Hodgson would have been pleased with that pass, wouldn't he? Because that's classy stuff from the big Wales number 8. The Newport Gwent Dragon. That was a lovely pass, and Murphy, so often the creator for Shane Horgan, he finishes the try and probably the match off.
And the message tonight for Michael Owen is hurry home, do the right thing, with all our best wishes, and hurry back too. because there's still work for Owen to do on this tour, on the evidence of his performance tonight. And same can be said of that man, Charlie Hodgson. It's difficult for the fly halves, the scrum halves too. Hookers in the same boat, 4 of them all fighting for one jersey.
Right. You get your one chance and you have to take it. And I think what you can say about Cussiter and Hodgson tonight is they've taken it with both hands really well.
Eaton taking that one with both hands. Marceau and Moody have had some battle tonight. New Zealand seems to be full of really good open sides. Marceau just one of them. First knock on from Taranaki.
No doubt they are tiring now, and the force of the Lions tackling, getting to them. I think that's one good aspect for the Lions as well, you know. When they weren't playing well, their defence was good. They didn't allow Taranaki quick ball. It's when they've been going forward, they haven't been able to generate enough quick ball themselves. They're finishing well. I think Clive Woodward knows there's still plenty of work to be done. But again, as with the Bay of Plenty, he'll also be thinking, as he talks to Eddie O'Sullivan, there's clear progress being made.
Another score in this final 6 minutes of the match. Really starting to make it look good and put a bit of daylight between the two. Not sure Taranaki deserved to be on the end of a thumping. They offered a lot tonight, haven't they?
I guess the Lions will say it's a game of 80 minutes, and if you can't last past 60, you're going to get a thumping. Well, I know what you mean, yeah.
Cussiter, Hodgson, Horgan took it in his stride, inside to Murphy. Now that one wasn't forward, and Murphy scores again. Just a little jet to see, but no worries this time for Jordan Murphy, and Horgan too. And once more the Irishman combined to provide the Lions with a moment of celebration. And Hodgson, Charlie Hodgson, what skill.
Silver service from Hodgson there. Horgan this time pulls the pass back a metre. There's no chance that one is going to be given us forward. The weight of that kick is absolutely beautiful. He's just stabbed it, and well played, Shane Horgan. And Murphy yet again, he's deep on the support, and that makes all the difference. Perhaps a bit flat in the first half. Now he's got his range. A lovely ball inside from the Leinster man, and the man from Naas is going over. Nothing's going to stop him. He's had a fine night's work.
Well, Hodgson has missed that kick, but that's hardly a negative alongside his overall performance tonight. And Jordan Murphy, who spent 6 months as an exchange student at Auckland Grammar School when he was younger, back in New Zealand and back as a Lions try scorer. Double try scorer.
Just like Joss Lucy on Saturday, keeping the pressure on the Wasp.
And Hodgson with a new partner at halfback. It's Gareth Cooper, who's replaced Cussiter. Man of the match time.
Well, the man Cooper replaced, Chris Cussiter, went awfully close. He was very impressive. Michael Owen, magnificent. But I think Johnny Wilkinson looking on will realise now it's not just about Stephen Jones or Wilkinson for the test ball. Charlie Hodgson has laid down a marker with a consummate display today. He's managed this game. He's kicked beautifully. He's run well. He's marshalled the game. Man of the match performance from Charlie Hodgson.
There's King, the new scrum half for Taranaki, and already across the line with Woods joining in from the other side, and Harvey there too. But the Lions' defence was held out very well indeed, and that will be good news for Mike Ford, their defensive coach for this match, and Phil Larder working alongside him on the tour with the other team. Conceded that first half try after Cussiter's pass put them in trouble with the 5-metre scrum. But apart from that, and they have been tested by Taranaki, they've been strong.
Two knocks, goose gold in red. He
Line scrum.
There's the man of the match, Charlie Hodgson. He's had a roller coaster of a season. He's played some sublime games for England. You think back to his performance against South Africa, but then you see that shrinking, nervous kicker against France. But he's bounced back. He showed great spirit tonight and no little composure.
And he was coming right back to form at the end of the season, wasn't he? Not just in the Six Nations when that competition finished, but also with his club side in Europe. Sale took the Challenge Cup. And in New Zealand last year,
yeah, he did
on a losing tour, he came out of that tour with more pluses than minuses.
Oh, yes, he did. I've really enjoyed his partnership, you know, with Chris Cussiter. I think the two of them have gone really well together. Quick service, they've serviced their backs well.
Gareth Cooper doesn't have long to impress here, having replaced Cussiter. He's got a free kick again, though, with Taranaki having failed to retreat the 10 metres.
I tell you, Michael Owen has asked a few questions. A lot of people wrote him off after the game in Cardiff, but he offers something different from number 8 with his range of skills. He's made a few tries tonight, and with Martin Corrie also a contender at 6, there's the option of switching Hill to 7. All sorts of possibilities have been raised tonight by a few big performances.
Cooper, that's the kind of ball he got in Cardiff when he wasn't really allowed to shine by the nature of the pack performance. Gold hand belongs to Chris Marceau. So often the sledgehammer, too subtle there either, right in front of the referee.
I think, Miles, what we've seen as well, the non-Super 12 players in Taranaki, it's early in their season. They've been playing club rugby. It's a massive step up to play international rugby. And I do think in the last 20 minutes they have run out of steam. And so the Lions must bear that in mind, because I think it is a slight distortion of the entire match, as you said a few minutes ago. But still, they've found some shape as the game's gone on.
And in the shadow of Mount Taranaki, it's been another fine occasion. And here's Stewart, and then Woods.
The line-outs against throws doesn't include 3 not straights, which is an important stat.
Young's kick, Hickey. He'll fancy this. He's gone over the top because he's seen acres of space there as the Lions go for one more score. King, bravely and ambitiously, gets it to Stewart, as he should, as Taranaki try and finish on a high for their supporters. And remember, this is how the game started, with an end-to-end movement. It's been an entertaining, times fraught evening for the Lions, but they've got it all sorted out in the end, as Harvey slings the ball inside. Roundtree's tackle. Then it's Hamish Mitchell. And cleared away, Jason Eaton doing the work. Stewart again. He's been impressive. Got it out to the wing. And what?
Tackled by Murphy, who's had a very complete game today.
And Taranaki looking tired now. Can they just summon the energy for a score? They've certainly got the numbers on the far side, and they've got Watt going forward, and he's elusive, and this will be the score. Taranaki do get their moment to shout about right at the end. New Zealand Provincial Rugby stands firm with one act of defiance.
But how much did Taranaki need to score that try in the first 5 minutes of the second half? Not the last play. It's a mere consolation. Had they got it early on, perhaps the energy levels would have been that bit higher. As it is, it's a fine finish from the replacement, and he's delighted, but it is too little, it's too late. It will infuriate Mike Ford and the Lions' defence. And Taranaki, they probably deserved that score. The margin was big, but the Lions know it's too little and it's too late, much as what celebrates. It's been a good last half hour from the British and Irish Lions.
And Sam Young has another go for the posts. It won't matter. But he's got his pride. And he's got his points as well. But the final whistle goes now. 2 played in New Zealand for the Lions. and 2-1. And once again, in the end, plenty to enthuse about, equally plenty to work on. But did we expect that to be any different at this stage of the tour? And now we move on to phase 2. The Maori, Wellington, Otago, all in a week. Enough said.
Step up now in intensity, but Bay of Plenty and Taranaki have given the Lions exactly what they needed. Two fiercely competitive games. Sure, tonight's opponents did fade in the last 20, but they've made the Lions work. They have tested them out. They've found the weaknesses, certainly at scrummage time, perhaps more importantly, at the breakdown. Andrew Hoare smiling on. He was a good player again tonight. Masoe caused problems, but in the end, the sheer professionalism and the fitness of the Lions really made all the difference. Today, for the Lions, I felt Murphy did ever so well. I thought Shane Horgan did well. Cussiter, Hodgson, quite magnificent. And up front, Michael Owen and Dave Allred. He will be pleased for Charlie Hodgson.
They've been working hard together again, those two. And Hodgson was looking smooth when he was kicking the ball yesterday, and he's managed to take that into the match situation, and Allred gives him a pat on the back, and so he should. Hodgson put in an immaculate display today at fly half. And these games are all about providing options and choices for the coaching team, and today undoubtedly has.
Oh yes, I mean, nobody was talking about Charlie Hodgson. It was all a matter of Stephen Jones or Johnny Wilkinson. And with the quality of this performance, if that had been Stephen Jones or Johnny Wilkinson, a lot of people would be saying, wow, that sealed their test place. Hodgson deserves to come into contention. Whether the management have made their mind up already, I don't know, but that was a high-class performance there. And whereas Taranaki showed great endeavour, great feet at times and hands, the precision in the end came from the Lions, and that made the difference.
So for Taranaki, not the victory against England in 1973. They drew with Wales in 1988. They eyed the Lions. They've beaten them once before, way back in 1908. Since then, 7 defeats. Make that 8 now. The Lions trailing at half-time and given a stern test in that first period and at the start of the second half. And it was that breakaway try in that moment when Corrie scored that certainly steadied the ship. The skipper doing a good job for his side, managing to get in the corner somehow. And there were moments in this match between these two teams in what is a highly physical sport, of course, but it was also played in a good spirit for the large part, and a good reaction between the two teams at the end of the game once more. Everybody in this country is starting to enjoy this tour, and there is so much more to look forward to. The New Zealand Maori coming up at the weekend. Paul Tito, the captain of Taranaki, is with Ian Smith.
Well, Paul, it's a night when you look at the scoreboard will probably reflect you're in the match very much until perhaps early in the second half, and they seem to take charge.
Yeah, we wanted to play it down the area of the field, and I thought we did that quite well at the start, and just a couple of turnovers, and they were pretty lethal, a couple of 80-metre tries, which put us under our sticks and made it pretty hard work for us. But you know, proud of the way the boys went. We stuck at it for 80 minutes, and good to get that try in the last minute there.
It was a nitty-gritty, tough little first 40 minutes. You're ahead at the break. What was said then?
Yeah, we knew they were going to come out, and they did that. And you know, we wanted to play down there, that end, like I said, and yeah, just turnovers cost us.
Very physical, wasn't it? Very physical game by even your standards.
Yeah, no, we loved it, and we expected it from them, and they certainly delivered it. And I thought our boys really stood up. I thought our scrum was outstanding. They much probably put a heat on us at line-out time, but you know, all in all, pretty happy with the way the boys went.
You'd rate their performance pretty highly then, on the evidence of the effort your guys put in.
Yeah, I think their backs played very well, used the space well, and scored some pretty good tries, and so yeah.
Key moment, losing Andrew Hoare for 10 minutes, losing a bit of momentum there, and wrong side of the penalty count in the second half.
Yeah, definitely Kiwi refs, and I thought he was going to be on our side, but he certainly wasn't that tonight.
Okay, Paul, August well, it's going to be another exciting season for Taranaki on the strength of that, considering the early nature of the preparation.
Yeah, no, we're looking forward to NPC. We've got a lot of our boys back from last year, and really looking to hook into it after this.
Thanks for chatting to us, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Ian Smith asking the questions. Well, there you go. Proof, if required, that every side that ever played the game feel that the referee is against them. But Taranaki, a proud rugby region. Graham Morey, of course, the great All Black. The pleasure of spending some time with yesterday from this region. Dave Loveridge, great scrum half in his day. Moustache to remember and a pass to remember as well. Phil Beaumont, of course, a man who played in those times, the Lions manager on this tour. And all that history, you could feel it in the build-up to this match. And it was a great occasion. That is two big ticks. One for Taranaki, one for the Bay of Plenty. And please, whatever you're doing at the weekend, make sure that you make time for the Lions against the New Zealand Maori. There's as much talk in this part of the world about that game as if the full All Black side were playing the Lions on the weekend. The Maori will see it as a test match. To them, it is very much that. It will be another great occasion. We hope for another great match. We move on to Hamilton. Back to you, Simon.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you there. So the Lions with a really impressive display in that second half. 30 points, including 4 tries. They settled, changed tactics, and broke Taranaki down. Great stuff. Now, on Friday, we've got another chance for Graham Henry to assess his options ahead of the first Lions test in Christchurch, as the guys were saying there. The All Blacks preparing for their series with a fixture against Fiji in Albany at the North Harbour Stadium. There we go. There's the details you need to remember. Sky Sports 1 from 8 o'clock in the morning. And the following day, a game which will be just as interesting to the New Zealand selectors, as Miles was mentioning there. The Lions face what many see as the 4th test match. The Maori, the opponents. We're live from the Waikato Stadium in Hamilton. And before that, Australia play their opening test ahead of France and the Mandela Cup games against South Africa. Samoa, the opposition. Plus, still to come, on Saturday, the Springboks make their own preparations for their games against France, the Wallabies. Their first test comes in the shape of Uruguay. But it really was a professional effort, wasn't it, by the Lions in that second half? Man of the match, Charlie Hodgson, hardly put a foot wrong, controlled the game so well, made a couple of tries, including this one for fullback Jordan Murphy. Josh Lucy set the bar high on Saturday. Murphy was up to it. 2 tries for him, 4 for the Lions. 36-14. We'll have all the reaction after the break. We're at the Telstra Stadium in Sydney on Saturday morning for a first look at the Wallabies this season. They're up against Samoa, and following that game, we're off to Hamilton and the Waikato Stadium for the hardest game of the tour so far. New Zealand Maori are always tough, but they've never beaten the Lions. Full-time, though, in New Plymouth, and the Lions may have proved a few points to the New Zealand press and to the public as well. They struggled in the first half, but showed that they can learn and adapt to what's in front of them. Ran away with it in the second half. 36-14 the final score. Let's hear from skipper Martin Corrie. He's with Alex Payne.
Well, Martin, they made you fight pretty hard for it, but you got the victory in the end. How delighted are you with that performance?
Yeah, really delighted. I think the second half, we stuck at it, we kept hold of the ball, and we tried to play at a pace which we want to play at, and we got the tries which we worked so hard for.
It was a pretty tough first half, wasn't it? What was said at the break?
Well, nothing, well, quite a lot actually, but it was, yeah, the main thing is just keep hold of the ball and just try and clear out the ruck so we can get quick ball, because that's what we want to do. We want to play quickly. And fair play to the lads, that's exactly what they did second half. And fair play to Taranaki, they're going to always take a lot of wearing down, and that's what they did. Games aren't won in the first 20 minutes. You need to wear them down first, and that's what we did. We stuck to our task, we wore them down, and eventually the scores came.
It was the captain's moment which got you back into the game, wasn't it? What do you remember from your try?
That the try line wouldn't come to me quick enough. That's all I remember, that Hodger gave me the ball, and I think I had a prop to beat, and I struggled to do that. It was one of those, I just had to dive as soon as I could and hope for the best, and thankfully the ref gave the score.
There were times tonight, weren't there, when there were a few basic errors creeping in and perhaps decisions weren't going your way. Was it just a question of keeping your composure?
That's exactly it. We're starting to generate a lot of confidence and belief in the team, and that's what we need to do. When things go against us, it's not to be rash, it's not to panic, it's just have the underlying confidence that if we just keep plugging away, keep going forward, then eventually the scores will come, and that's exactly what happened.
If there is an area of concern, Martin, would it be the breakdown? Because there were times tonight when you didn't have it all your own way, did you?
No, all credit to Taranaki. They slowed down our ball, particularly in the first half, and that probably accounted for the way we played, which wasn't necessarily great. But second half, I thought we cleared out a lot better. We got a lot of quick ball, and and the rest was history.
Do you think that's something, though, the breakdown that will come with time and with training?
Yeah, we're not saying we're anywhere near the complete side or anywhere near the standard we want to be. But what it is just every game we can just keep on making small improvements. We've got a lot of improvements to make for the Maoris, and hopefully the game on Saturday can be another step up. 2
games, 2 wins. How happy are you, though, with where you are at the moment?
Yeah, excellent. We're really happy. I think, as I said, we're showing progress each time, and these tours are all about generating momentum. We set a marker against Bay of Plenty. We've moved it up a notch today, and hopefully now we can move it up another notch on Saturday.
Very well done tonight, Martin.
Thanks
for talking to us.
Cheers.
Very well done.
And we can use that old cliche again, can't we? A game of 2 halves. I mean, they did it on Saturday, changed tactics when it was level at the break, and it worked for them then. It has again today. How impressed were you, by the way, the Lions had the ability to change and adapt?
Yeah, they came out well. They came out and did what they had to do. They drove some line out. They got the backs over the gain line, which allowed them to play. But they've got to learn from first half displays. They've done it now over the last couple of games. Why don't they go out to start? They talked about breaking Taranaki down, breaking sides down. That's the way they should do it. Drive the forwards in, get it out to the back line, then get over the gain line, then play structured rugby. At the moment, first half rugby isn't particularly good.
These are the driving mauls that you were talking about there, Scott. I mean, it was kicking the corners against the Bay of Plenty. Was it a different set of tactics today that they employed, Dowie?
Well, I think it was. I mean, we were chatting in the studio with Sean here, and he said, well, this is what you need to do against a team like Taranaki. You've just got to pick it up through your jumper and just drive it straight, and it sucks everybody in. And he actually sets down a marker, I think, Sean.
Oh, definitely. They've put a stake in the ground. That's, what they've done here is they've changed their tactics. They've realised that the Taranaki boys were getting into them. So they needed to suck them and to slow the game down. And as Martin Corey said, we needed to play the game at our pace.
Yeah.
And that's what they've done here. They've just totally dominated, brought them in, and scored the points because they did the basics well. They brought the numbers to the breakdown.
As a forward, that's all you want to do is get into a game. You want to get into a good driving maul. You want to hit the ruck where 8 of you are hitting it, getting over the gain line, picking up, driving, and you want to get into a game early. It's taken them until the second half to actually get into games, and it's a bit fragmented in the first half. They're trying to play the perfect game. They're trying to get out there, trying to play in pods of 4, but at the moment, when these New Zealand sides attack and go to the heart of that, it slows it down, and they said that in the second half. When they do get the quicker ball, they play some wonderful rugby.
Absolutely. Great display of control as well from fly half Charlie Hodgson, man of the match. Again, he's with Alex.
Charlie, 36-14, the final score. How big a statement do you think you made out there tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good start for us. Taranaki came out, they got off to a good start. They were leading, and they pushed us close until half time. And I think it was our fitness that proved it gave us the advantage in the end, to be honest with you. And great, the boys played really well. We played in the right areas of the field, and things went well in the second half.
A point down at the break. How concerned were you with the way things were going?
We weren't going to panic at all. We knew that we had 40 minutes to put things right, really. Not even put things right, but just to continue the way we're playing, defend well, and get our attacking game going, which we didn't do in the first half. And we did so, and we scored some good tries in the second half.
There were indeed 4 second half tries. I mean, did you feel things were coming together for you guys as a team out there during the second half?
Yeah, I mean, it does take a while for us to bond together. I think I haven't had that many sessions within this side, so it's great to be great to get off to a good start for me personally and for the team.
I was going to say, personally for you, there's been a lot of talk, hasn't there, about the Test number 10 shirt and Johnny Wilkinson and Stephen Jones. Did you feel you had a point to prove out there tonight?
Yeah, there's obviously been a lot of talk with the fact that with Johnny and Steve competing for this number 1 spot, so it's nice that hopefully I can play well and give Clive some selection problems.
You've done exactly that. You've put in a man of the match performance. Here's a bottle of bubbly to celebrate with. Many congratulations tonight, Charlie.
Cheers.
Thanks a lot. Well done.
Well, he had a torrid time towards the end of the autumn internationals and during the Six Nations as well. How pleased are you, Dowie, for Charlie Hodgson?
Delighted. You've seen this young lad grow, get his chance, get in the international arena, and then just lose something. I'm not quite sure what he lost, but he's obviously he's confidence or whatever, but he's put it back now. This is a big stage for him. This is a big test. And the Taranaki boys were coming up. He held his head up. He kicked the positions perfectly well. He took the ball into contact. I think he only lost it once because he's not the biggest lad, but he tackled. You know, something that Ronan O'Gara didn't do really against the Bay of Plenty. He's really put it up there, and he's got some deft touches, and he has got, on his day, the best distribution pair of hands in this country.
Has he played himself into Test contention?
He certainly has. On that performance there, you've got to say that he probably put the best 10 performance in on tour so far, you know, including the Argentinian game. And, you know, if you're going to do that and you're out there and you're wearing the shirt and you're playing like that, he's got to be in Test contention. Puts no pressure on whoever they pick against the Maoris.
It's absolutely brilliant. Brilliant for Clive.
What do you expect the reaction to be back home?
Well, I think, as I said, I think the Lions now have put a stake in the ground. They said, we're here to play rugby. And what we saw from, especially in the second half, is that they're going to be very, very, very tough to beat. And everyone's been talking about the Taranakis and the Bay of Plenties. This team, who is not potentially going to be the Test team, have put a stake in the ground. They've said to the other potential Test players, right, now we've set the standard. This is where we need to get to if we're going to win this, you know, this tour.
Who in particular put their hand up, do you feel, today?
Oh, just the second half especially, I thought Jenkins coming on made a huge difference. It, just in the way he brought that team together and just gave everyone else a lot of confidence. Corey, Hodgson, all those, Jordan Murphy, the Will Greenwoods. You know, we sort of weren't saying too much about him at the start, but he is crucial because you could just see that leadership in the second half just started to pick up. He started to play better and led from the front.
I think the 8, 9, 10 combination this afternoon was perfect. I thought Michael Owen absolutely was outstanding. In the first half, he carried the ball, but when he was in space, he used his hands wonderfully, you know, to create a try for John Murphy. And Cassidy, I thought he had a magnificent game. First half, on the back foot, he cleaned a lot up, and going forward, unfortunately, there was one bad pass. Take that out of his game, he was outstanding.
And now, of course, the tour steps up again.
These two to talk to players. Look, mate, if you know you stepped up and you step up, you got the Maori on Saturday. That, if you can carry on just increasing and getting better, and the fitness levels, this is a very well prepared, you know, squad of players. But this will be a massive test. If they can do the same and beat the Maori by 20, 25, 30 points, there will be shockwaves going through New Zealand.
And then on to Wellington, and on to
then you've got it. Then you're going, mate. But the Maori is a massive game on Saturday.
It's going to be fantastic. We're all looking forward to that. Here's a reminder before we go of exactly what's to come. You'll be able to see extended highlights of today's game against Taranaki from 12:30 and from 6:30 as well this evening on Sky Sports 2. And a reminder of Saturday's action. We're live from the Telstra Stadium in Sydney for Australia against Samoa from 6 o'clock in the morning on Sky Sports 1. And then it's the unofficial 4th Test match, New Zealand Maori against the Lions from 8 o'clock again on Sky Sports 1. My thanks to Sean, to Dowie and to Scott. 2 out of 2 for the Lions. From us all here. Bye for now.